Hello and welcome to the Inheritors, the not at all dramatic name for our new series, where we're talking to the next generation of leaders in foreign exchange. My name is Eva Szalay and I'm contributing editor to the Full FX, and with me today is Juliette Bordeau, who is part of the EFX sales in London at SocGen. I hope I didn't totally got your name wrong.
No,
Thank you
it's
so much
perfect.
for joining us. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Good opportunity, so thank you very much.
I appreciate you making time. Could we please start with a quick introduction, what you're doing today and how did you sort of end up working where you are now?
So I've started 4 years ago as an intern in Paris, as in the EFX sales team, and then I got the opportunity to go to London. So since then I'm there, and so still in the EFX sales team. So
That was the start of your career in foreign exchange.
Exactly, yeah.
Did you do your internship in FX? Did you kind of fall into it, or were you a little girl thinking, one day I'll be working in FX sales?
Not in FX. I think I fell into the FX by just opportunity initially, but I actually wanted to work on the financial market, and the sales seemed to be the best compromise between understanding the market, how it works, and having this client side of the business, understanding the needs of the clients, and having this contact basically.
And what attracted you to financial services? Did you have anyone around you who worked there, or was it just an ambition?
No, I don't think so. I've actually wanted to start working there. Well, I also wanted to be an architect at one point, but I finally ended up in the financial market.
Oh, it's much better. So you kind of ended. You wanted to work in finance. You got there. You sort of foreign exchange was where the opportunity was. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're finding it? Is it what you imagined to be like, and your overall impression of FX compared with maybe other asset classes?
So I think I was surprised a bit when I arrived, because you would imagine that financial market there is an algo that works all the machine a bit, and it was not. It was really like real people behind the scene. So it was a bit surprising, but I really enjoyed the job. So basically, in our job, in the electronic part of the business, as it has moved a lot among the years, I guess. In FX today, you basically cannot go without the electronic part of it. If you look at it, I think it's more than 70% of the volume that are trading in FX that goes via electronic. And if you look at it in number of tickets, it's more than 90%. So that's essential to have this electronic part of it in mind. And in our job, the job of the EFX sales is to promote the electronic franchise from Société Générale. And we have lots of client contact. We organize the meeting with them. We understand their needs, what they're looking for. We advise them a lot, especially on the electronic part of their business. We have relationship with lots of different clients. It can be bank, it can be hedge fund, asset manager, or corporate. And so obviously the problematic are not the same.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of our job, to offer them the best solution they can have in electronic.
So it sounds like you've got a lot of, electronic trading plays a big part, but there's a lot of person-to-person interaction. There's a lot of sort of relationship management or relationship element to it as well. Do you kind of enjoy that? Is that part of, the reason why you're doing this job?
Exactly. So the client relationship is super important to understand what they need, what they're looking for, how they want to evolve. As it's moving super fast, there is always some new platform coming in, new product, new technology. So it's also a part of our job to have a strong relationship with platform, to be aware of what's coming, what's new, so that we can offer the best product and the best service to the client and advise them as best as possible.
Is there an example, maybe you can share, it doesn't have to be obviously sort of names or anything confidential, but is there maybe an example where you've had something new, a new trend maybe, or you had to solve like a problem with a new solution?
I think, for example, the algos that are coming back quite often. So that's a solution we're offering for some clients. For example, they have a strong execution, let's say, and they maybe doesn't have many solutions, and we can offer them then the algo so that it can help, can benefit them basically. And also depending on the volatility, if the volatility is super low, let's maybe more focus on a classic RFQ.
Yeah. I guess that wasn't an issue nowadays in recent weeks, low volatility.
Yeah, it was not, but it's still the global trend. I think we still have low volatility and really tight spread, so it's a bit challenging globally. Well, I think you really need today, when you see all the banks that are offering the same product, FX, you really need to specialize yourself and have, for example, something you're really better at versus the other bank.
And you have to have that sort of, USP, that sort of edge in certain areas, right? So that clients can sort of come to you. Is there anything that clients are sort of generally asking for, or that may be new, or any kind of trends that you're seeing? There is the algo one you mentioned. Is there anything else?
So there is several. There is, for example, the fact that everybody is looking to cost reduction.
Yeah.
So that's a global trend because everybody is trying to reduce their cost. Even some clients you wouldn't expect probably a few years ago, everybody is looking into it.
Yeah, it's been always a super competitive space, right? FX, and it feels like especially the kind of, I guess this year, it feels like there are a lot of new platforms, there are some new participants.
Yeah.
It's despite the low volatility, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's always something happening in FX.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you think about the kind of market structure development? And I suppose we touched on that with the algos, but how do you see foreign exchange evolving? What do you think are the kind of next steps?
I think the competitivity is definitely not going to slow down.
No.
It's increasing all the time, but maybe that's going to also lead us to a certain reshuffle. Maybe some actors would like to maybe focus on another asset class than FX, so on which they're doing super good job. Maybe we'll have a new actor. We mentioned the platform, the vendor, so maybe a new actor that comes in and offer a super strong product for mid-tier banks to have a really strong product and come back in the game on this part.
Would that could be something that you see happening, or that you would like to see happen?
I would like to see happening.
Is that something that you guys think a lot about? Competing with the kind of big five banks that seem to dominate, and how do you kind of deal with those relationships?
So I think we're obviously not competing in the same. We cannot offer the same price in euro dollar, for example.
Yeah.
So that's again why we need to specialize ourselves. And for example, Société Générale has a really strong franchise in Poland.
Okay.
Where we have lots of relationship with corporate or lots of different clients in the region, and therefore we have really strong offer in CE4, Czech, Polish, RON, and that's something we can push, and maybe we're better than the top five in this. This is an example. There is other stuff, but for example, that can be something we can really push to client.
And it's very valuable, right? I mean, also I guess the benefit in a way is that a euro Hungary is going to be less competitive, I imagine, than euro dollar, right?
It is, yeah, indeed. So it's really valuable for the client, indeed, to have a really competitive price on this currency that are less liquid than euro-dollar, for example. So.
And do you see that trend sort of continuing? People, sort of not people, banks, sort of continuing down this road of specialization. Big kind of supermarkets, if you like, at the very top, and then you've got sort of more specialized, sort of mid-tier banks in foreign exchange. That's probably going to stay like this.
I guess it's going to stay, but I think it's going to stay.
It's going to be one of those.
Yeah, and also what we can see maybe is like some banks growing the business, and at one point you really want to be the best at everything. So.
It's always very sort of cyclical,
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
it? You have these like, yes, I remember 10 years ago, everyone was competing, trying to win Euromoney, the volume survey, right? And now it doesn't even exist, or if it does, it's a different game. So it's not about the volume so much; it's about profitability, right?
Exactly. In the end, that's why you're doing the job. So.
Okay, and what about yourself? Do you see a future for yourself in foreign exchange? Would you be kind of interested in exploring some other asset classes? Or do you get a view of how FX compares with other asset classes?
I think I really like the FX market, so I'm happy to stay in as long as I can. As we mentioned, it's evolving all the time, so that's super interesting. You're learning new stuff all the time. We had many problematics that evolve a lot. We didn't mention actually, but latencies with all the new environment, everybody's looking for a bit.
With the new environment, what do you mean? Sorry.
So, as for example, there is lots of systematic accounts that they're looking for low latency, and also some platforms that trying to push the low latency environment. That's something we have to adapt, obviously.
Yeah.
And in time. So yeah, there is always some new challenges and new stuff to learn. That's great. We also say that it's super competitive, and in a way there is obviously some cons, but there is also some pros. That means that you have to think differently and reinvent yourself and like, okay, what could I do better than other? No, I think that's really good asset classes. I'd be happy also to learn more about rates maybe. Mm-hmm. So I think that will come, and for the rest we'll see.
Well, you see, the thing is with FX, you can't leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you kind of fall into foreign exchange, that's it. You might as well forget leaving. I was going to ask you about other asset classes.
I think there is something interesting. It's as an EFX says, we maybe don't look everything the same, but we analyze a lot the data.
Okay.
That is more and more important, obviously. And we use the platform data or the client data that we can get just to be to provide the best product and the best services, obviously. And when you look, I had a quick look, for example, in the rates, and the data is way more precise.
Okay.
It's definitely more precise. So that's something that would be nice in FX to have.
And in terms of, you mentioned that electronification is a big part of the role, but there is also the sort of personal stuff. Do you see, because as a salesperson, you have to know both, right? You have to know about the latency stuff, you have to know about market structure, but you also have to be able to speak to people. So do you see any new skills that you might need to have in the future in the role of FX sales, or do we have AI to code nowadays, so we don't need to worry about that sort of thing?
So I think you're learning on the day-to-day basis, because we're working really closely with client on the side, platform on the other one. Trading also, we have really close relationship with trading. We're working with them all day long. With IT also, because you have to understand why this client got rejected, what's going on the back of it, and you need to guide them a bit on what you need and what you're expecting. So it's really a job that is in the middle of the client, the voice, the trading, the platform, and the IT guys. So it's really you're learning every day basically. And AI in all of this is obviously gonna change the stuff, I guess. Is it gonna make our job disappear? I'm pretty sure it won't.
It doesn't sound like it. You said like you're right in the middle of
Yeah.
the center of the storm, right?
Exactly.
You're sort of handling all these plates, right?
Yeah.
So it could be helpful, maybe.
It's going to be helpful. I think it's going to be like maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago when people would say, computer are going to replace. They're not going to be any trader anymore. It's going to be computer or anything. It's just going to be a tool that we'll use and make us more productive. A tool to help you and make you even more productive.
Make things more efficient.
Exactly. So
Bring it on.
yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic.
It's gonna help me a lot with the data analysis, etc. So we're gonna gain lots of time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I guess data is one of those areas that everyone is kind of trying to figure out how to be better at analyzing it and how to sort of. So it sounds like AI could be a pretty good tool for that.
Indeed.
Is there anything that you wanted to maybe touch on or that you wanted to sort of highlight at all? Did we cover everything?
I think we're pretty good.
Is there a dream role that you have that, you know, maybe in 10 years' time you'd like to have?
I'm not sure I picture it yet, but maybe will come. AI helping us a lot in our job will be a good one.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.